there, Tom here. Hope you're well. I know it's been forever, hasn't it? And I knew I needed to do one of these, and it's been a bit of a while because I've just not been in the office. We had quite a successful launch before Christmas, and me, Mark, and Seb just haven't been here. But I do want to keep doing the videos because I know so many people do get stuff from them. And I was sitting down today, and when I was at home, I knew I needed to kind of come up and think of something that I wanted to talk through. And, you know, you always kind of look around for a little bit of inspiration. What message can I do? Is there anything that's happened to me recently that did it? And actually, I did get that little bit of inspiration this morning because, as you know, it's January. It is pretty cold at the moment, and quite consistently we are basically scraping the ice off the cars. And this morning, I got to use my new Christmas present. Thanks, Mum. For the very first time, I know my brother got one of these. It's a very strange Christmas present, but we do have weird ones in our family. And I basically got this brand new ice scraper, which, I mean, to be fair, it's pretty good. It gives you a nice sweep and everything. And when I was doing this, it actually reminded me of a story of something that involved ice scrapers that I think you'll find quite useful. You see, because back when I was employed, probably like 5, maybe even 6 years ago, I used to work with a guy called Ian Redding, who owns a car dealership, a Ford dealership down in Bicester and Buckingham. And I was running some kind of Facebook ads for Ian at the time. And one of the big things, and again, we spoke about this when I spoke about Cam's Garage and stuff, is for Ian, one of the biggest wins he could have to be a successful car garage in terms of MOTs and servicing was basically to have the email address of every single kind of person in Bicester and Buckingham and their MOT due date or their service due date. So one of the things that we were trying to do with Facebook ads was basically kind of run some traffic to kind of capture that information so that he could then market to them at the right time and remind them of their MOT due date or their service date and get people to come in and spend some money with him. But first and foremost, we had to get that data. So one of the things that we did with the Facebook traffic to try and get that data is we started running that. Running a campaign that basically offered people a free winter health check. So essentially, if you wanted a free winter health check on your car, it's obviously, you need your brakes looking at, checking that your fluids are right, all those kind of things. And if you wanted that free winter health check, you'll hear lots of people offering it now. All you had to do was kind of click on the ad and basically submit your name, your email address, your car registration and your MOT due date, because obviously those are the bits of information that Ian wanted, and very, very simple, go across and do it. Now, we ran that traffic for kind of like a good 2 or 3 weeks, but we kind of had one consistent problem. Nobody basically opted in. Nobody wanted to get the free winter health check. And when you think about it, you can understand why. Because, you know, if I sat here and asked the question, has any of you ever kind of got excited about a free winter health check? It's just not something you really want in your life, is it? It's, you know, it's difficult to do. I've got to go to the garage, there's a hurdle there, I've got to get out the car, I've got to give up time. It's just loads and loads of difficult hurdles that need to be overcome to get someone to want to kind of share their details, to have that as kind of a free reward or, you know, a service from him. And we sat down and kind of had a conversation and thought about it, and we spoke about those kind of objections, and we thought, you know, what else could we do? Now, at the time, Ian had, like, basically, surprise, surprise, a box of these. Well, no, they weren't quite like this, it was a little bit different. But a massive box of ice scrapers. And what we did is we basically went, well, why don't we try those? Why don't we give people, you know, it's the right time of year, because we were doing this again, similar time to the year now. Why don't we offer people a free ice scraper as opposed to the free winter health check? And we went and did that. Basically, they then had to submit their name and email, an address as well, because it was obviously we need a bit more information. So we got some extra data, and you'll be amazed at what happened. It kind of basically, from kind of having maybe 10 or 12, virtually no response, I think we shifted something like 500 ice scrapers in 2 weeks. He'd grown his database rapidly from nothing to another 500 in such a short space of time, because people actually got excited about the ice scraper. Now, I was kind of amazed because in the same sense, for me, a winter health check wouldn't motivate me to do stuff. I didn't think an ice scraper would, but for the people of Bicester and Buckingham, it did. They basically changed their behaviour and started to share the information that he wanted with them. And you might think, well, what are you going on about here, Tom? I haven't got a car garage. I haven't got any ice scrapers that I need to give away. And my point is, and the thing that I think other business owners, I'd love them to take away from this, is we often make the mistake that if we tried something with a particular media, we think that the media was the wrong thing. So let me give an example. The example of that is that it would have been very, very easy for Ian to kind of make the decision that Facebook ads wasn't the right media for him to market his business because he had no response from the free winter health check. But actually it was. He was just asking people to do the wrong thing. And I think so many people do the same with other marketing that they do. I'm sure some of you have been there, have placed ads in magazines and not had a good response. You might have done leaflets and not had a good response. You might have done some AdWords and not had a good response. You might have done some email marketing and not had a good response. And the problem a lot of the time that we think is that it's what we did that was the problem. It's not what we said. And that's the real kind of takeaway from this is, are we asking the right questions? Are we offering the right things? Are we giving the right kind of baits to get people to take action rather than looking at that being the problem rather than looking specifically as the media and using the common phrase, I once tried that, it didn't work for me, it's not for my business. It's something to have a little kind of think about. It's a good one. Let me know any kind of comments or questions you think you might like, you might have on that, and then we'll answer them from there. But again, have a great week, maybe even a month until I see the next one. We don't know. I am going to try and get more regularly, but I'll speak to you again soon. Cheers.